Welcome back to Another Dimension. I'm Quinn.
I'm Trask.
I'm Taylor.
And to start it off this week, let's run through last week's contest.
Yeah. Do you want me to do that?
Go ahead.
So every week we're doing this now. Like and share our most recent podcast post on social media for a chance to win some quick transport merchandise. This week's winner was
Tony Rodriguez.
What do you want him to do?
Like and share this one as well.
Okay.
But send us his address so we can. What do we need? Size, T-shirt, or something?
And a hat, probably.
Sure.
Who who is Tony?
I think. I've known Tony for a couple years.
I don't know Tony.
I think Tony might have actually worked with Donnie.
Really?
I don't know that 100%, but I'm assuming. Tony used to run into. I used to run into him at the foundry all the time. So. Tony, congratulations. Get us your contact information.
Taylor will reach out on Facebook and shoot you a message for your address, or if you're in the area, you can stop by and pick her up.
I'll address it to at the end. I'll remind him.
Awesome.
Perfect. In the news this week,
Hurricane Ian.
Hurricane Ian.
What about it? Other than it sucked.
Ooh.
My grandma and mom saw it firsthand right after it went through. They got to Naples right after. It looks like probably Ukraine, similar.
I know a couple people that have houses in the area that no longer have houses in the area.
I think a lot. I think almost anybody can have a story about somebody down there.
Sad.
Yeah, it's.
What were you saying this morning?
I read it. I think it was on Yahoo or something. The death toll continues to rise, and it's drowning. From the floods, sickness now, and actually suicides.
Just sad.
And there's a lot of retirees down there.
That's everything.
That was their end, and now to rebuild, I can't imagine. So, certainly our heart goes out to them, but
and to everyone, I guess, really. Just thinking about that from a trucking standpoint, what does that do on the transportation industry?
We're in the flatbed world. I don't think there's floods of supplies going down yet. Maybe in, food and water.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen requests to take lumber and building materials or anything
the generators or anything yet.
May have all been mobilized before it even got there.
Could have been.
So,
it's just, you wipe out a whole economy. Now, Florida as a whole for shipping, they do a lot of stuff. It's like Texas and California. A lot of stuff stays in that state. It doesn't come out. But from a shipping standpoint, all of that stuff on that western, I guess, seaboard is probably affected by this. Whether they're not manufacturing anymore, the building is no longer there, whatever that may be, I can't imagine what that's going to do to an already tight market,
Think about that. You're on an island of sand or whatever, and it just flooded. How do you know what you own or what you owned, or is it there?
Or that island is now 15 feet smaller.
Narrower, yeah.
Now, yeah. I don't know. Now you own underwater? I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
Thankfully for the people that live out on that island, and I'm assuming you're talking about Sanibel Island.
Sure, Pine Island or whatever.
They're financially okay, I would believe. That's
Maybe.
A pretty ritzy area, I would say. And I don't wish that on anyone, but you know what? I think that there's probably some safeguards in place to where, hey, if my front lawn is no longer my front lawn, maybe I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that, but
Contingency plans.
Yeah.
They've got to be put in place.
I don't know.
Well, what about a new entrepreneur who just started a smoothie shack down there, right? And gave everything they had, and now that's gone.
Yeah, there's that. Or even that beach life. It's way different. Life is...
Bait shops.
Yeah.
Done.
The smaller, or the little diners. And I don't know anything. I'm not familiar with Florida travel-wise, but even in the Carolinas where we go, you have the one business that brings or comes to mind for me is Sea Paws. We go there every year, and it's a guy that owns Sea Paws. It's a little mom and pop dog food place, and it's right on the ocean. If that were to be wiped away, I'm sure that is everything that guy ever has. He's there from sun up to sundown. Everyone in the surrounding 10 communities knows him, and he's the guy for dog supplies and pet supplies, which is pretty cool. But
Was that a shameless plug for him?
I wasn't meaning for it to be, but maybe we
right.
could take him. He'd share it.
That's all right.
He'd probably
What's the info?
Seapaws, Morehead City, North Carolina.
Nice.
Go there for
Everything.
beautiful.
I don't
Everything dog related?
Yeah, pet
Animal,
related.
Pet related?
They had some for one of our customers. We hauled some loads down to a dog food manufacturer, and when I was down there on vacation, I saw their sign up, and it was pretty cool. But
Produced in Wisconsin,
Yeah.
sold in North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So that's that.
Hurricane Ian. Awesome.
Not awesome.
Not awesome. We're going to go back to doing a few vocab words. Apparently that was popular.
Yeah.
So I have a few.
Okay.
Is
I'm
this a
looking at it.
contest, or are we just
No,
gonna say-
this is just
Informative.
Okay.
Yeah.
Useless knowledge, we'll
Yeah.
call it.
Okay.
Fingerprint in trucker terms.
Location?
Nope. Not very applicable to our kind of freight, but more in reefer, maybe dry van,
Your temperature?
or like a food
Your
warehouse.
appointment time?
Nope. Fingerprint means you unload the entire trailer by hand. So you put your fingerprint on each box.
Oh,
Oh, way to
That
go,
was
Quinn.
lame.
That sucked.
No.
Jackpot.
Jackpot.
hit the jackpot. Some time off
Hit
at
the
home?
Jackpot. No, getting pulled over by a cop
Why is that the jackpot?
because all the lights are behind, flashing behind you
Really?
like the lottery machine.
What is that other?
The last one is applicable to this week. Alligator. I think we probably have talked about this before.
Like
a road
on the side of the
alligator.
road? Yeah, road
Yep.
tire. Yeah.
Yep. Typically a tread from a blowout tire. It looks like the back of an alligator.
Yep.
But alligators can also come up and bite you, right?
Yep.
And we had that happen this week.
Really? You're going
Yes.
there? All right. Fine. That was a stretch,
But it's true.
but it wasn't a tire
How do you know?
because I was told it wasn't a tire.
You believe everything you're told?
It depends on who's telling me.
Anyway, so we had a driver. Unfortunately,
His first trip.
his first trip, he felt horrible.
Yep.
We felt horrible. There was something in the road. People were swerving to miss it. Somebody hit it. It bounced up, and it came right at him. Ended up bouncing up and putting a slice in his oil pan.
Yeah.
In Omaha.
Right by Omaha.
Thank
Gretna.
God.
Yeah.
So luckily,
We
we
were
had a
able to get him towed.
wrecker.
Like an hour.
Yeah, in an hour, and the dealer was able to get him in, and had an oil pan and a gasket, and had it fixed overnight, which
Got
is
the driver hotel.
unheard of
Yeah.
these days.
Everything lined up perfectly.
Yes.
And was able to get him back on the road and get him back home. And
Yep. So
Yeah.
silver lining there, it worked out well. It sucked. It was his first week out. Nothing anybody could have done.
No.
So
there are 2 new segments that we're adding to the podcast weekly.
yeah.
Safety tip of the week and a maintenance tip of the week.
Okay.
I'll start with the safety tip, and
Okay.
you can handle the maintenance.
All right.
So these are going to be quick, brief, kind of talking points. If you guys want anything added to them or think of something that we need to share, let us know. We'll gladly screen them for validity, and if they pass our stringent test, we'll get them on air.
Right.
Yeah.
So for a safety tip, when you guys are getting in and out of trucks, on and off trailers, basically anywhere, use 3
Ladder?
point. Yeah, ladder. Use 3 points of contact. Wow. All those coffees this morning.
And what does that mean?
2 feet, 1 arm, 2 arms, 1 feet. Another 1 foot.
You're on a roll.
Wow. Should probably just start over today. Another, I guess, point to that. If you're getting in and out of the truck, don't get out of the truck with your back facing into the cab. Face the cab.
Don't jump out.
Don't jump out. it's all little things that we do, but trust me, they could have a pretty big impact on you and ruin your week, or if not a couple weeks if you do get hurt.
I mean, excuse me, I used to jump off the back of a flatbed all the time. Excuse me. And my dad would always say, someday that's going to come back and hurt you. And yeah.
And during that time, what did you think?
You're probably right, but I don't have time for that. I don't know, which was stupid. Since then I had back surgery, which I'm sure is
partially related.
Sure. Maintenance tip of the week is currently we're coming into fall. Just something that we do is we like to load test all of our batteries. And typically a truck has 4 batteries. Some have 3. 4 is pretty standard. And we will load test them to make sure they are properly.
What does load testing mean?
Put a load on them, I guess. So put them under stress.
Okay.
To see how much power they have.
You just take them off and bring them in and set them by Chad.
Squeeze them.
Set them in by Chad.
Yeah. See how much stress there is. Yeah. No, we have a machine we hook up to them and basically simulate starting the engine, how many amps and stuff are in the battery. It's very typical if you could have one bad battery. And if you have one bad battery, it's going to drain the rest of them. So it's just kind of something we do in the fall, getting ready for winter. So
load testing tells you if the batteries are healthy enough and likely to make it through winter.
Correct.
How long does it take?
How long does it take to load test batteries? That'd be a better shop question, but I'm going to say pull the battery boxes off, undo the cables because you have to test them separately. Total time, if everything goes well, hour to an hour and a half, maybe.
What could that potentially save you?
It could save you a tow. It could save you a jump start. It could save you from having to idle your truck because, we have SBAR heaters or auxiliary heaters that the fan runs off the batteries. It doesn't draw much juice, but if you have weak batteries, it could draw enough that maybe your truck won't start. And when it's 10 degrees out, it's going to start harder.
Yeah. Well, and no one wants to start a Monday morning or any morning with that issue.
Just a simple one thing we do coming into winter.
Awesome. Hope you guys like those. I think we'll do them every week. Moving forward, if you have a maintenance tip that you think should be talked about or could help someone else on the road, let us know. Maybe we can use it or maybe someone else can.
Would it be beneficial to say, we've got a local vendor who's a small vendor. I don't want to alienate anybody here, but we've got a local vendor right around the corner name is Battery Hub that we buy our batteries from. Takes great care of us. We buy AAA batteries up to our big truck batteries. So Battery Hub, I don't know if we can call them out, but
absolutely.
If you're local to the Kaukauna, Appleton, Green Bay area, maybe you want to check them out.
I'm sure they might even travel too. They might deliver. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I know he does a lot of exit sign batteries for commercial buildings.
Cool.
So.
Awesome.
All right, another tangent, but
that's what this podcast is about.
That's what we're all about, for sure.
Squirrel.
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Load tracking.
Load tracking in the state of disarray.
Yeah, and why it's important, why it needs to be done, what it entails.
Why we dislike it.
Why we dislike it at times and why we like it in other times, because it's kind of a one hand or the other situation.
So give us a little backstory on it.
On tracking?
What it is, why we have it, how it works.
So I guess there's two things. Without speaking too much, I mean, load tracking in a sense is, let's say we haul a load from a broker. We're using a broker to find us a load to get us home. They're going to say, hey, where's your guy getting empty? When is he going to be at the pickup? Where is he going to make it to tonight? And when is he going to deliver? That's really what they care. It's picked up on time and it's delivered on time and it arrives safely. because of the way the industry is, a lot of people don't provide those details, being the carriers. I think we pride ourselves on doing a damn good job at that.
It's the first thing dispatch does every morning.
Every morning.
Give an update. And at the end of the day.
But most people don't. And because of that, loads pickup times get missed, which means customers are upset. Loads go missing. Loads get stolen. Loads don't show up on time, which also makes a customer upset.
It sends their schedules in
disarray.
Yeah. If you're late, I mean, a lot of times if you're late for an appointment, you're working and you're probably going to be last for the day.
So what these brokers are doing, they're paying people to track and trace. I mean, so they are literally calling 5-6 times a day saying, hey, where's your truck? Is he on time? Is he this or that? Thankfully, we avoid that with our GPS tracking a lot of the times, but people are now getting to the point to where, hey, it doesn't make sense to employ 5 people to track our loads when we can just pay a service to do it. And the one player in this that really comes about more times than not for us is MacroPoint.
Yep.
MacroPoint, for what it does, you can handle it. Because I don't have anything good to say about it. I'm not going to lie. I think it's annoying. And for us,
So what is it?
It's an app on your phone that you consent to allow the company to track you, which avoids the calls, in theory. It avoids the check-ins, the check-outs, the pickup times, the delivery times, because they can see where your truck is. Quick Transport provides that already. I don't feel like we should have to do it. I think it's a waste of time, and our guys don't like doing it.
So what happens when you book a load with a broker? They will say, what's your driver's phone number, right?
Yeah, they don't need that.
And you need to accept, the driver needs to accept MacroPoint tracking while he is hauling this load.
Correct.
Everybody's irritated by it, right? Number one, our stance is we don't want to give out our driver's phone numbers.
Yeah.
Because they shouldn't have to deal with it.
They're going down the highway with potentially 80,000, if not more, pounds behind them. Do you really think that they need to be called 37 times for a load that's picking up?
Well, I won't call your driver.
Tell them about the time that you picked up the load. I'm going to go on a tangent here. I can feel it. But tell them about the time you picked up the load in Denmark that went out to Kaukauna, that went out to Eau Claire.
Yeah.
How many times did you get called on before?
So we picked up, I needed to get out there.
It was a load of barn stables. Like, what the, like, why do they need to know?
Yeah. I needed to get out there because I bought a truck and I had to get out there to pick it up. So customers didn't have any freight going out there, so we took a broker's load of galvanized fencing or stanchions or something.
Yes, barn stanchions.
And loaded up, took it out there. It's a 3.5 to 4 hour drive. They called me 4 times.
What did you tell them? By the second time?
I can't say what I told them.
I wouldn't have answered.
The first time I told them where I was and when I was going to be there.
Yep.
The second time, I told them that I told somebody else where I was and when I was going to be there.
Yep.
And that hadn't changed. The third time, I didn't answer. And the fourth time, I said something a lot more direct than that.
Yep. So I can guarantee you that they also probably called the office 6 times during that time. And you know what? I get it. If you have a carrier that isn't providing you accurate information, I understand that. From our brokerage side, I do. I really do. But on the trucking side, I don't know how many times we've provided updates before these people are even in the office. And then the first thing they do is pick up to call. Like, read your email. We just told you, hey, our guys are here, and click on our live tracking link. That literally tells you exactly where our trucks are.
So most carriers, I would say, with the inception of e-logs and GPS tracking, they have the ability to track that truck or that shipment and provide that tracking to a customer, which we do and will. We'll offer that. From the driver's standpoint, okay, now I have to accept this app on my phone. I don't want anybody tracking my phone. It's none of their business, and I agree with them 100%.
I did the app this week to avoid a driver having to do it.
Yep.
And it didn't take much. It took 20 seconds to download the app in the App Store, but then it did have access to all my pictures, all my all my contacts, which like that's fine to me. It doesn't bother me in that sense. But I could see how someone that would bother.
So
me.
why are we in this position? Why is this a thing?
For the lack of a better term, shitty carriers.
I agree.
You might have to check the explicit.
I agree. It's the industry's gotten such a bad reputation and shitty carriers, and this is where we are today. Admittedly, like, I don't know of a direct customer that requires that from us.
No.
But we do offer it if they want.
Correct. And sometimes on the time-sensitive ones or huge crane appointments or the extremely high-value loads, they do want that.
Yeah.
And we have provided that.
Yep.
But I'm sorry, your $600 load of used tires doesn't need to warrant a phone call 13 times to the office.
I agree 100%.
To
Bug you. A lot of these larger places, I'm going to shoot
America.
from the hip here. Goodyear Tire, Kellogg's, like big, Nestle, big places like that.
Kraft
They have
foods.
a lot of things going, right? It makes sense to me that they would want to know where the product is.
I would agree. I agree with that.
A lot of that stuff is run through direct carriers and brokers and yada, yada.
Or 3PL,
So,
things like that.
so to make it one system, that makes sense to me.
I agree. But each one of those places doesn't just use MacroPoint. Then you have Blue Tree, and then you have Blue Jay, and then you have this, and then you have that. Like, if that's the case, let's just create a standardized thing. Everyone can do it. That way, everyone knows what they're doing. And, yeah, it would take some time, and someone could do that. I will never be doing that. But I understand it from that point. And I understand it from our brokerage side because we broker freight, and we've had carriers that have done crappy things on loads.
Yep.
I understand that. But I don't understand it for the good guys.
Right. And if you're talking about a broker load, sometimes they'll penalize you.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't accept this, it's
$50.
$50 rate deduction. Really?
Yeah.
Now let's go the other way. I, again, disagree with it. But, and I know most of our guys disagree with it. I don't know anybody who likes it. But
Chad likes it.
But we have guys that order Amazon packages here, and they get delivered all the time, right?
Yep.
They want to know where they are and when they're going to be here.
That's a good
We had
point.
one guy yesterday. Oh, it's going to be here in 20 minutes. I'm sitting waiting for it.
Yep. I suppose.
You appreciate that, but you don't like it when they do it to you. Maybe it's a different situation.
I've never thought of it that way.
playing devil's
I think
advocate
that's
here.
I think that's a good point to make. And I will digress.
And those guys work. Those prime drivers.
Yeah.
Oh, those guys.
Yeah.
We could get into that in a second.
I saw a piss jug one time
Really?
in a van. I saw it when he opened the door. Yeah.
Wow.
But I'll be honest, I never thought of it that way.
That's a good point.
That's a really good point.
It's just a
I do
point.
the same thing.
It's just a point. And the guys who get the packages delivered here are going to like listen to this and be pissed at me. It's just
Did you tell them about the parcel delivery charge that we're going to be adding on to?
right, administrative fee. Again, I don't like MacroPoint. I do understand it, but if you look at it a big picture,
Both ways.
okay.
I'm sorry for what I said before.
Really?
Don't be sorry.
Yeah.
I still disagree, but like
be sorry.
I don't hate
The fact of the matter is we're still in the situation because of shitty carriers not doing what they're supposed to do.
Correct.
People stealing things, and it
loads
sucks.
ending up in the wrong places or wrong pickup numbers or wrong this or wrong that. We're thankfully, I feel as if our crew is good enough, our drivers, our office staff, even our customers are good enough to make sure that we put each other all in the best spot that we can. Whether
Sometimes-
that be verifying pickup numbers or whatever that may be, I don't think a broker is going to have that issue with us.
Sometimes we have to see the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
And I just
this is
did.
one of those situations.
And it sucks.
We may not like it,
Yeah.
but
Back to the Amazon guy. Remember that guy that came in with the long ponytail?
yeah. And he was like a manager?
He was the manager, and he had like 6 people out with COVID that week. He had said he did 184 deliveries one day. Tell me how that's legal, for one. But two, and then had to come back in that night to do
load trucks or something.
To load the trucks to cover someone else's shift. I mean, it was like an astronomical number, like 394 or something like that, deliveries in like a 16-hour span.
Yep.
He was drenched in sweat, like probably hadn't eaten. Like
They work hard.
Our FedEx guy quit. I don't know if you know.
Because of it?
Which one?
The guy, he was kind of a little more animated, really friendly, liked to talk. He was very like, I don't know, he moved quick. But he told me one day, he goes, I don't know, this is the last time you're going to see me. He said there's some like 30,000 FedEx employees are walking out before the end of 2022. They have some big deal. It's gonna rock. Huh. It's gonna rock FedEx. But
you know what's gonna happen? They're all gonna end up at Amazon.
Yep.
So
UPS is gonna thrive.
That's a huge squirrel moment, but that is another big.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna roll with this a little bit.
Yep.
So FedEx and UPS, those guys are driving big box trucks, right?
Yep.
Federally regulated, I'm assuming.
I mean,
UPS
not only that,
works
but
differently.
What about the Amazon guys? Are they federally?
No, I don't think so because
that's why they have those.
They have those Sprinter vans.
Yep.
But I will say this.
Work the crap out of them.
I will say this. Those FedEx trucks, those UPS trucks, are the most dangerous trucks. Not for safety wise, going down the road, but from a fire stance, they're dangerous.
Oh yeah.
You want to know why? They don't need hazardous material. Things
because they don't have a certain amount of it.
They don't have a certain amount of it. But if it's all done on the package, so yeah, they might only have X amount in this package, but they got 150 of those things. Mm-hmm. They are over that federally, but there's nothing that it's not illegal. So cell phone batteries, huge thing. They always got a UN number on them, right? Or anything electronic that has a lithium battery.
Yep.
Those things are loaded with iPads, earpods, iPhones,
right?
All that stuff. One of those goes up in an accident on the road, it's not going to be good. Sorry for my rant, but
rants are good.
That's where I'm at.
This has to be the most random episode we've ever done.
No way.
No?
No
Okay.
way. No way.
All right. We're right on point?
We're right on point.
Okay.
This is what
I
people...
feel like it was...
You want to say anything else about Macro Point or Hurricane Ian or congrats to Tony Rodriguez?
Yep. Pack play at 8:30 a.m. Sunday.
In London.
London.
Russell Douglas said they all fucking hate it.
Really?
Yeah, these overseas games.
Oh.
They're thrown off. It's not their fans. It is, but it isn't. He did an interview. It's kind of funny, but it's all for a little money.
Can you imagine being over there?
Right now?
What do you do?
I was there when I was 12.
Well, yeah, I know, but like, okay, so you go out. I'm going to go on a rant
What do
here.
you mean? What do you do?
Keep going.
You go to the game. You go to the game.
Yep.
But me as a person, I could not do that.
Go to the game?
In London?
Why?
One, like if I'm going to a Packer game, I'm going to have a couple drinks, and I feel comfortable there.
They don't drink in England?
I think they do.
Oh,
but
they do.
Imagine
They drink.
getting, like, you're on vacation. What was the lady's name in the NBA?
Brittany Griner.
Imagine having, like, 10 beers.
Well, you better know the laws.
That's my problem. Yeah. I would be the guy that would be arrested because I was belligerently drunk.
I was just talking to my neighbor Tom last night because he was going to go. His buddy has tickets and he didn't know if he was going to be able to go. Tom, long story short, is not going.
Yep.
But he's like, I was thinking about going even if I didn't have a ticket because London's cool to drink in.
Really?
That's what he said.
You'd be safe there. You'd be all right.
yeah, no, I get
Russia's
that,
a
but, like,
little different when it's an American citizen.
But
That
I
kid
get
slipped in
that.
her
But like
pocket.
that scares me. Like a different country not knowing. Crap!
At least they're speaking English. At least you can communicate. Like if they're in France, Spain. That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
We sound like some podunk hillbillies right now.
You just have to put up with their teeth. They're so bad. That's not a stereotype, by the way.
No.
No, I made sure to look at that when I was over there because I was there for 2 weeks.
You were 12.
I remember. I remember. It's not a stereotype.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we're squirreling pretty hard here.
Fish and chips.
Closing.
Anyway, we already said
it?
thanks to Tony.
Yeah.
Right.
I think you
Tony
said it 3
Rodriguez.
times.
Tony. That was a band.
Make sure share this
Yep.
round.
Yeah. Like and share. Obviously, we're going to be doing that every week. Taylor will have that up. We'll have this one up, and we'll get back to doing them weekly, bi-weekly,
Good way,
whenever we can fit them in.
good way to shut
Weekly,
it out.
bi-monthly, yearly.
Might be here next week. Might be here the week
Biannually,
after.
twice a year.
Wow.
All
It will
right.
be
Have another
good.
cup of coffee, bud.
Right. I think we're good.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
See ya.
All right, episode 21 is in the books. Real quickly, Tony Rodriguez, shoot us a message. Otherwise, I'll reach out as well if I don't hear from you, and we'll get you your prizes. Make sure you guys follow us on all social media, and tune in back next week. We'll be back in the studio. Have a great weekend. See you guys.